Hey guys, before we jump into this video, I just wanted to say when we recorded this segment, we originally intended for it to be a part of our weekly podcast, but we felt it didn't really fit with the flow of our usual recording. So we decided to make the segment and this segment going forward its own little separate video thing. So just bear with us. This first time we didn't record an intro or an outro because we felt it was just, going to be part of the pod. So, hopefully you guys still enjoy and keep a lookout for more stuff like this in the future.
What are you reading, Alex?
Oh, I'm reading the compendium for Spawn. Compendium 1.
We have the movie of the year, Tenet. Actually, when I was working overnights, I listened to like the entirety of the Dark Knight's Metal storyline as like a podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to your mom's favorite place to be. We're your hosts, Edward, Anthony, Noah, and now we have Alex.
Dude, we should make a podcast.
That being said, it's time to hang 10 with your top entertainment news of the week.
About what?
Well, it's like something that we all had like in common. Like, what's something that we could all like talk about for a while?
We always talk about movies and stuff, like movies that just came out.
So,
Alex, 1 to 10, no decimals.
1 to 10, no decimals for the movie. Solid 9.
Find your lack of faith disturbing.
Yeah, I'm down, Anthony. We should do
That'd be
like
cool.
different segments too. Like we should have like a game, like an icebreaker, and then maybe we can read some like movie news or like entertainment news.
Dude, what if we call ourselves like spam mail?
Everyone listening, we have a huge announcement to close out the pod.
What if we do the Hooligan Hangout?
If you guys are new to our podcast, make sure to check out our previous season.
Welcome to the Hooligan Hangout. You explaining what we're gonna do for?
Okay, well, the first thing we're gonna start doing now, guys, right before we do a movie review, is we're gonna just start talking about more broader ideas. It doesn't necessarily have to be about the movie industry, but it is gonna like somewhat be connected to it. So like this one, today we are going to talk about, or we're gonna answer the question. Do we think that what PlayStation Studios is doing with all of their video game movies, do we think it's sustainable? Do we think it's going to work down the line? Because they've already shown that they're pretty much ready to go all in and adapt a lot of their video game franchises. Even with Uncharted, I think it got like $54 million box office first, which is fairly good for.
I think
I assume
for
it's
the
not a big
budget it
budget
had,
movie.
I think it nailed it. I'll double check the budget while we do this.
That is exactly what I'm saying. So, I guess the people who I want to start with first are Anthony and Alex because they have played all the Uncharted games. So,
Okay, so
good way to start
Uncharted.
off for them.
Okay,
Uncharted.
wait, I want to say
Hold on,
the
hold on,
movie
hold on.
had a $120 million budget. So for it making $50 million in the first weekend, they got half their money back. So it's starting off pretty solid.
I think that's good.
Is that
That is
just
really
you?
good.
I don't know if that was just US too. So, or not, but either way, that's good.
Worldwide, its gross is $226.4 million
There
as
you go.
of now.
There you go.
Dang.
They've already
That's
exceeded
crazy.
it.
Nice.
As of
Nice.
2 days ago. So it has made $50 million gross as of now.
Perfect.
Dang. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a good point to make. Back to y'all, Anthony, Alex. What do y'all think about it? I'm gonna do y'all first.
So
Hold on,
Anthony,
I was gonna say, to start off, I'm gonna like.
Keep in mind, this isn't
What are
about
you
the
looking
movie
at,
itself.
bro?
It's about PlayStation Studios in general. So it's about the movies PlayStation is going to make.
Oh yeah, that's right.
okay.
Okay,
Like,
never mind.
like,
Continue.
like
Go
the
ahead.
like the intro logo that they had for the movie, like the whole PlayStation
loved
Studios
that.
thing was fucking sick.
That was
It
pretty.
was
It
really
was
good.
That's
It-
another reason it shows where they want to go. The direction
It was
they wanna
clean. It was very clean.
Did you see the Ratchet and Clank in the logo?
Yeah, dude. I like the little PlayStation Astro Man that was there.
Go.
Like
Oh, yeah.
the
The
main
the
little logo
OG,
dude that they
the
use?
OG
Yeah.
dude.
What if they give him like just a comedy movie? Bro?
Honestly,
I'd be so down.
so anyways, honestly, if PlayStation wanted to do like movies, like for again, like besides Uncharted, like for Ghost of Tsushima or even God of War would be a pretty badass movie to watch on screen.
They're already
Bro.
doing
But
Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh,
Did they confirm it?
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
by the people.
Oh
that made it.
what?
Oh,
all.
see, papi.
No, but I'm saying like if they make like even a God of War movie like would be fucking like amazing. Like even if it was just like a ground building, you know, like the first like God of War where that's how he becomes a God of War. It'd still be pretty badass because that game was badass. But back to Uncharted. This movie.
Pull your mic away from your
Oh.
face.
Apologize. So about Uncharted, I think Anthony, you played the first
a little
3,
closer
right?
than that though. There's a sweet spot.
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Anthony, you played the first 3 Uncharted, right? The one where he's like in the desert, the jungle, and all that shit.
I actually played the fourth one too. Now that I think about
The
it.
fourth one is badass. Like the fourth one is
It's
clean.
good.
But essentially this movie kind of like ties the first.
What we're
oh.
we're talking about just
PlayStation
game-
Studio.
Oh.
Do you
games,
think
yeah,
it's
in general.
this
Do
is
you
new?
think-
This is new. We'll get used to it. But do you
Okay,
think
okay.
it's
Do you think it's
you think it's
sustainable?
sustainable? You think it's sustainable?
Oh,
You think it's-
oh,
you think
definitely.
it's
Yeah,
the right direction. You think it'll work?
And in the wise words of Critical, there's a lot of lore in a lot of these games. So they have a lot of like for example, if they want to do the Ratchet and Clank. There's multiple things they can pull from Ratchet and Clank to make a movie. Multiple things from God of War to make a movie. Ghost of Tsushima is a long ass game, not necessarily any sequels to it, but you could make a perfectly fine movie out of it. You know?
Well, yeah,
Um,
but do you think it's good for the casual audience too, though?
Yeah, definitely. You don't have to be a hardcore gamer like Rocha or I to enjoy a story
Why am I
story-driven game.
categorized as hardcore gamer? I
Because
didn't have.
because I know how much you love single player games, Rocha.
Thank you so
fucking
much
piece
for
of shit.
that.
Actually, this will be perfect for Edward because he'll get to actually experience the stories now.
No, because he'll be like in
All
the movie,
these
he'll be
games.
like, "All right, where's the multiplayer coming out?"
No, because
Oh,
if the movie's
or-
shit, he'll be like, "Why should I play this game?"
Exactly. I will say the Uncharted movie did make me want to play Uncharted, which I do have the entire collection on PlayStation because it was like
I don't
PlayStation
think
Plus
you should
6
relate
thing.
the two.
What's stopping you from playing the game? Then you have the whole fucking collection. It's gold.
Time, I'd rather play PlayStation with the boys and sit there and
All
play
right,
it sadly on my own.
Anyways,
Go ahead.
Anthony.
I think it's sustainable because I feel like the first few like adaptations of these video games, like for example, Monster Hunter was pretty terrible.
That
And I
also
feel like
that wasn't by PlayStation though.
That's fair, but I just feel like a lot of video game movies in general are bad. But I also think it's fair. It's a fairly new concept. Like it's always been done, but it's fairly new because it's been coming out a lot more. You know, so I think over time, the more and more movies that are going to come out, they're just going to get better and better. And I trust Sony a lot, so I feel like it's going to be really interesting
The thing
I
that,
will.
in the future.
go ahead. You can go ahead. I'll go last.
I was gonna say, I will say, just from like this first movie that I saw, really, is that it really does have a lot of potential. Like, as like a casual audience viewer, I felt like this makes me want to watch more of like their movies in general. Like, it gives me hope for the video game genre, considering how shitty it's been, like in
And
the past,
Not only
like
like
in
the
just
video game-
history.
Yeah, I agree with you. I see what you mean.
Like historically, the video game movies have just been like dog shit, but
Mortal
it's like
Kombat.
trending upwards.
Yeah.
So the thing about this is I think one of the biggest reasons PlayStation is going to sustain it and have success, and the reason why they're buying all in is they're involving, at least from what I know, everything they've made, they've involved the writers and the producers of the games.
Yeah.
So even if it's a little bit loose adaptation, they've made sure there's still heart in it. They made sure it's still what the game was like at the core of it all.
Mm-hmm. Like basically, they get the writers' approval before they do anything.
Yeah, they don't just slaughter the concept. But like I think the first true video game movie PlayStation did when they experimented was Ratchet and Clank, which was also promoted with their reboot of the franchise. And then now they're doing The Last of Us on HBO. They just announced Ghost of Tsushima. They just did Uncharted, which is prompt to have a sequel. I'm assuming just how successful it's been.
Dude, it should. It
Dude,
needs
I cannot tell you how excited I am for Last of Us on HBO, dude. I cannot wait to see a fucking series. Because, dude, the clickers were one of the first real zombies that I was actually genuinely terrified. Because I don't know if y'all know, but that fungus is based off of a real fungus that happened, is real.
Yeah.
So the fungus attaches itself to ants and becomes, there becomes zombie ants. But they use that real life thing and incorporate it into a video game, which is badass. So I want to be able to see maybe if they use the same virus, like the same fungus thing, or if they're gonna go on a different approach. You know what I mean?
I also like how realistic it looked, like genuine. Like all like when they released that still image of like the actors and what they're wearing, like that's like perfectly what the game is.
I will
Just
say
like
I am
the
a sucker
open
for
world.
I am a sucker for zombie shows. So even without playing the game, I was immediately intrigued by it
It's different though.
because
They're not zombies.
well,
They're not
the
zombies
thing
per se.
is,
They're just. Go ahead,
there's
sorry.
nothing like it in the genre going on right now. So it would be
Exactly.
like totally like on its own, in its own space, which is cool.
Exactly. Another reason it's sustainable is because these games are so good because they're original. So bringing that to the big screen for casual viewers,
I was gonna say, not to
help it
mention,
out.
like the PlayStation is known for like its original games, right? Like that's the whole hook into buying one. So being able to turn those into movies is something that I feel like Sony would want to make good because if they make these movies good, it would lead to big sales in their consoles and their games. So I feel like they're like extra like enticed to make these not dog shit to make their like feature titles,
You, you, you
something that people would want to buy.
you took
Exactly.
the
So I
words
feel
right out of
like
my mouth.
it is
Yeah.
really sustainable for them, like financially, marketably. I just feel like it's something that they have like every reason to try their hardest on. It's not like something they can just like half-ass because they know they're like, oh, if we put out a shitty movie for this franchise, game sales are just gonna stop completely because no one's gonna fucking want it after this shitty ass movie was made.
Exactly.
And
They know. Go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say they also have really good funding for themselves. Not only like for Hollywood studios, they have to gain the money and be able to like hope to make it back in like a box studio. You know what I mean? But PlayStation does have money from its console purchases, its game purchases, and shit and stuff like that to be able to not only like back up more CGI oriented scenes, but also like be able to maybe get big actors as well. You know what I mean?
Hey, you hear that, Sony?
That's
If you want
true,
to
that's
sponsor us and send us all a pair of headphones,
I'll take a
we're-
PlayStation
no.
5. I've been wanting one forever now.
Nice.
Perfect
knock yourself
move.
out, Sony. We're
I'm
No,
poor. Please, Sony.
Sony. We're happy to bitch ourselves out for you.
so I guess we all agree. I guess the only one thing I have to say about why it wouldn't is they once they get towards like free territory, like once they get towards like where it's not original anymore, like it's like beyond what the video games have showed or beyond what the story of the video games. Once they start writing their own stories and stuff, they need it like not cash grab. You know what I mean? They need to not milk it.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah,
talking about
I
like
agree.
making.
I feel like I'm scared that they will, but
For example, The Last of Us. Once that series hits its peak of where the games are at, or like, I mean, it can go beyond a little bit and have a little bit more freedom with that, just because of how open ended the ending of the part 2 was. But like, once they get into that territory where the writers aren't really involved and it's just like its own little thing, they need to stop. That's why The Walking Dead died.
I agree. Well, I feel like I trust Sony enough to know when a good thing's expired.
Yeah, limited series.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I'd say that this is
I,
a
s-
great strategy for them going forward.
I agree.
oh, you're raising your hand.
And on that note, Sony, please sponsor us. And if you do, you'd get a cool segment like what you're about to hear right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, we weren't really prepared to do this as its own segment, so we didn't record an outro either. So just quickly before you guys leave, if you could, check out our podcast. All the links will be down below where you can find it. Link to all our social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, the Hooligan Hangout. We're pretty active there. And check out our merch, also linked down below, merch.streamelements.com. We just dropped some really cool new designs, and hopefully you guys enjoy. So check it out.